All right, guys. Whew. Okay. Bills and Broncos AFC Divisional round. Now, last week, obviously, the Bills played the Jaguars. I was very, very, very nervous about that game. You guys know, I came on in this video and I was telling y'all I'm nervous. The Jags, I think, are legit. Their team is strong. Trevor Lawrence is a quarterback I don't trust, but he's been playing good, right? I was pretty nervous. Well, the game happens. The Jags are legitimately, I think their talent is insane. The Jags are a ridiculous team. But Trevor Lawrence, I was not impressed with him in the game. The reason, the Jags had a way better team than the Bills, but the Bills won because Josh Allen has played like the best player in the NFL, which right now, with Mahomes out of it, Allen is the best player in the NFL. Allen played up to that level, and Lawrence was a bum. And that's the difference in the game, right? And then obviously, we did the video, very excited, very ecstatic. Bills win. Now we're playing the Broncos. Now, I am very confident, actually, against the Broncos. It's actually a little bit of a similar thing with the Jags, except Bo Nix has not been playing good leading up to this, really. But I don't trust Bo Nix, the Jags QB. Bo Nix does not impress me. I'm sorry. I don't think he's very good. Now, the Bills have a strong pass defense. What worries any Bills fan is our run defense is actually like the worst in the league. Like, it's so bad. The Jags were like, they would run the ball and it's just 10 yards every time. Luckily for the Bills, the Jags coaches were absolute morons and just wanted to just throw the ball all over the place with Trevor Lawrence, who was not great. My fear would be that the Broncos are very smart and they just run first down, run second down, run third down, right? And then maybe their defense is good enough and it can hold Allen in check a little bit. But there's a couple of really big disadvantages the Bills have. The Broncos were the 1 seed, right? They were the team. No, let's go to the wild card bracket. The Broncos were the 1 seed. They had the best record in the AFC throughout the regular season, right? And tiebreakers, stuff like that. They were able to get the 1 seed, which means they had a first round bye, right? So the Bills play this bloodbath game against the Jags. Again, the Jaguars are a better team than the Bills. The Bills just have the best player. That's truly the difference. The Bills make it through. The Bills had ridiculous injuries. 2 players are done for the rest of the season from that game. Meanwhile, the Broncos have been getting rest. That is the reward for being the number 1 team in the conference, right? So, I mean, the Broncos got what they earned, which is the 1 seed. The Bills in the Josh Allen era have never gotten the 1 seed. They really should have gotten it this year, right? Like, if you want to laugh and say, oh, the Bills lost to, like, the Dolphins or the Falcons, like these shitty teams way earlier in the year, what it costs them is now this, where the Broncos have a week of rest and the Bills don't. So the Bills are going to be at a huge rest disadvantage compared to the Broncos, which in NFL does really matter, unfortunately, for the Bills. So the Broncos are going into this game relatively healthy, and the Bills, not so much. Let me just pull up the Bills injury report quickly because it's comedy. Yeah, here we go. This nonsense right here. Bro. Dude, it's just crazy. And, dude, look at Josh Allen. Foot, knee, finger, right? So his foot, he hurt a couple weeks ago in Cleveland. It was a really bad play by Allen. I mean, listen, Josh Allen is the best player in the league. I mean, we can criticize him when he makes bad plays. It's okay. And acknowledge that he's also the best player in the league. He had a really bad play against Cleveland. This is something he did much earlier in his career that he stopped. In 2023, he wasn't doing this. He wasn't doing this last year. I don't remember him doing a lot in 2022 either. This is like early years, Josh Allen, where he'll run backwards, he'll run around in circles for 10 seconds, and then he'll take a really bad sack, right? Or when he was really young, like his first 2 years, he would, fumble it or throw like a bad pick or something. But that's something that he kind of brought back into his game this year. I think for Allen, it's a symptom of trying to do too much. I think, I mean, he knows that this team is not as talented as previous Bills teams, and Allen is trying to do just flat out too much, and that causes him to do those. But that got him hurt against the Browns, and that's how he hurt his foot injury. In game, it doesn't. He doesn't seem any slower or anything than he did like in week 1 or anything. I've watched some clips lately of like 2021 Josh Allen. He definitely was faster a couple of years ago. He was, but he's much bigger and bulkier these days. So I think it's a little bit easier for him these days to kind of like run defenders over. Whereas like when he was younger, he would be a little bit faster and he would be jumping over defenders, right? Now, his knee was kind of like, the Jags were very dirty all game, too. So I take great pleasure in them sitting at home with their thumbs up their asses with how fucking dirty they were towards Allen. Like, so many, like, after the whistle, they were hitting Allen, landing on him, pulling him to the ground after the whistle. Just complete fucking scumbag behavior. And that's why the Jags are at home on the couch. Because they're scumbags for that shit, right? Like, the Bills were not touching Lawrence at all like that. But the Jags were just pussies, is what they are. One of those plays, Allen already crossed the goal line. They were pulling him back, and he twisted his knee. And then his finger, he just, like, threw and just smashed it on his own guy's helmet. But, I mean, he's able to fight through. The local reporters have been saying Allen looks great in practice. The knee is not bothering him. He's not wearing a knee pad or anything. So, it looks like Allen is good to go. A bunch of these other guys, though, Hairston is still out, which hurts. This is bad. This is basically our backup corner, but he plays a lot. Trey White last week had maybe the best game of his career. So, I mean, if Trey White plays like that again, I mean, we're fine. DeMar Hamlin, we need him for depth. Because we had a massive injury last week. This guy, Poyer. The Jags could do nothing. Poyer got hurt, and then that's when the Jags started throwing all over on the Bills. Parker Washington going crazy. It was when Poyer got hurt. Hancock, the backup, was getting smoked. So this is bad. The reporters were saying that Prater is looking good as well. Our kicker, that's huge. It's a huge disadvantage when, you know, we're on our third string kicker and shit, and he's hurt too. Like, it'd be really bad. Looking at the rest of it, so Curtis Samuel has returned. I think I do have, oh my God, okay. So this is the big thing. In a couple of these Bills videos, you guys would have saw me talking Ed Oliver. We got to go here. Let's go to the Bills depth chart. Ed Oliver is our best defensive player. Actually, like that is true. Ed Oliver is our best defensive player. Well, maybe it's Benford. Benford might now be our best defensive player. Benford is, yeah. As long as we got these two guys, the team is going to be much improved. Well, Ed Oliver has been gone since, let me go back. Where's the Bills? Here. Our schedule. Ed Oliver, he won us the Baltimore game, by the way. The reason the Baltimore Ravens season has sucked this year, it's because of Ed Oliver. Because at the end of the game, he ripped Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry was in like a mental block all season. It was because Ed Oliver got that fumble on him in week 1. And then the last Ravens offensive play, Ed Oliver crushed Lamar. Absolutely just lifted him off his feet, destroyed him. And I swear, Lamar was never, like the Ravens played the Cleveland the next week and they crushed them. But like Lamar was different in the game against the Bills. Lamar looked like 2024 Lamar. But like after that Ed Oliver hit, Lamar was just never the same this year, right? So it's like, then Ed Oliver, I can't remember where he got hurt. He got hurt somewhere, one of these games. I actually don't recall what game he got hurt in. But then eventually Ed Oliver returned against Carolina, and that's where he tore his bicep against Carolina. So Ed Oliver hasn't played since the Carolina game. That's the last time Ed Oliver played. And now finally he returns. This completely changes the defense. It like I am so serious. If he's able to play out there and he's at 80%, 85%, maybe even 75%, this completely changes things for the Bills. I'm so serious. Like, with this guy out there, this shores up our biggest team weakness, run defense. Now, the Broncos, too, if the Broncos do have one bad thing going on for them, it's Dobbins is not playing. Yeah, this is huge for Buffalo, because if the Broncos are going to win, this is how they're going to win. They're going to run down Buffalo's fucking throat, and they're going to keep Allen off the field. That's how Denver wins. So that is huge for Buffalo that Dobbins is not playing, right? I have not even heard of these guys. RJ Harvey, I know of, but the other two backups they've got, these guys, I've never even heard of these dude. McLaughlin and Beatty or Batty, I don't know who these guys are, right? I know who Troy Franklin and Cortland Sutton are. I think Troy Franklin is the one who had the touchdown in our playoff game last year, right? Let's go to 2024. And then, yeah, right here. So this is the playoff game we had last year. Buffalo crushed. Allen was incredible. Now, here's the thing. Denver's defense is really good. They have many of the same players, although they do have a couple of guys from the Niners, right? Do they have, is it like Hufanga and Greenlaw, right, are two players they have? Sorry, I'm kind of like jumping all over the place. It's Hufanga and Greenlaw, right, are the two defenders they got? Yeah, Hufanga, the safety right there from the Niners, and then Greenlaw. Yeah, those two. Who they were not on the Broncos last year. But look at this game. So this is last year's playoff game. The Bills had 200 yards rushing. If you have 200 yards rushing, like NFL teams' records have to be like 503, like over the last 20 years, something with 200 yards rushing. When you have 200 yards rushing, that means you dominated the opposing defense, is what that means. This was a game, the Bills, James Cook destroyed the Broncos. I gotta think that if the Bills are gonna win this game, so right now, I think the Broncos are favored, right? They're -1. Oh, it's -1.5. Yeah, okay, so the Broncos are favored again. It started with the Bills as the favorites, but then, quickly became Broncos. So, if the Bills are gonna win this, and like ESPN's matchup predictor has it a slight edge to the Broncos, that makes sense because their Broncos are at home and the Broncos had a week off last week, whereas Buffalo had massive injuries. Oh, I didn't even get to the point I was going to make that Buffalo lost 2 wide receivers for the year last year. Let me go to we just click injuries. Gabe Davis and Tyrell Shavers both tore they both tore their ACL on Sunday against the Jags, both of them. That actually hurts Buffalo a lot. I saw, again, if you're not watching an NFL team week in and week out and are familiar with the players and stuff like that, there's a lot of things you can't really comment on too much. Like, in these Broncos backup running backs, I don't know anything about. So, like, do I think it's impossible that, like, was it like McLaughlin or something like that could go crazy against Buffalo? It could happen, right? I don't know anything about them. These guys, Shavers and Davis, are elite run-blocking wide receivers, which sounds ridiculous to say, but it's true. They're great run blockers, and that's what Buffalo has been a running team since the middle of 2023. They prioritize the run, right? And losing these guys could hurt us in our run game a little bit. James Cook did nothing against the Jags. I have to imagine Cook is legitimately good, right? He is really good. I can't imagine he's going to have another stinker game back-to-back. I imagine Cook will be really good in this Broncos game. And if Allen gets any help at all, which, I'm saying Cook could, then I think the Bills could cruise here. I do think I could easily see the Bills winning 28-14, 31-21, something like that. I think the Bills could comfortably win here. The Broncos will win if they crush the Bills by running it, right? Keep Allen off the field. If Allen has a bad game, which for him here's what I would define as a bad game by Allen. It would be taking bad sacks or turning it over. In the playoffs, you can't turn the ball over. This is a thing that, like, delusional Lamar Jackson fans are completely delusional about. The turnover shit in the regular season doesn't, it's whatever. Who cares? When playoff time comes, you cannot turn the ball. You can't. Like, the reason the Bills beat the Ravens last year, the Ravens are a way better team than the Bills. Why did the Bills win? Because Lamar was sloppy, 2 turnovers in the first half. The Bills were in control the entire rest of the game, right? Like, that's a fact. So, Allen does need to be very conservative with the ball here, especially on the road in Denver. I think if the Bills make no mistakes, we'll probably win because I don't trust Bo Nix, period. Right? If Bo Nix wants to shut me the fuck up, prove me wrong, and win this game for the Broncos, please do, Bo Nix. But I don't trust him. I don't trust Bo Nix. I don't think Bo Nix is good enough for this level of playoff game where he's going against the best player in the NFL, right? Mahomes is hurt right now, not in the playoffs, then that means Allen is the best player in the NFL, right? That's just how it goes. So Bo Nix, he needs to make no mistakes as well. That, like, Bo Nix can have a great game by making no mistakes. He doesn't need to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. He needs to make no mistakes. That's his job, Bo Nix, right? Make no mistakes. If no one's open on third down, eat it, throw it away. But if the game starts and Bo Nix throws a pick or something like that, Bills are winning by 35. Like, just telling you. This is not like the Jacksonville game where I'm just like super nervous. I just really, really do not trust Bo Nix at all whatsoever. And then remember, okay, so Ed Oliver's back. Curtis Samuel as well. Curtis Samuel, actually, do I still have the Bills? I'm lost in all my tabs. Curtis Samuel had a great touchdown against the Broncos last year. Yeah, Curtis Samuel, 55-yard pass from Allen, touchdown, right? And Curtis Samuel, I don't remember the last time Curtis Samuel played this year. Actually, let's double check. What was the last game Curtis Samuel played? I don't even remember. He's not even. Yeah, here we go. What was your last game, Curtis? The Bucks. Wow. Okay, he's been out since the Bucks game. But yeah, Samuel was really good in the playoffs last year. Let's go 2024 and let's look at the playoffs. Yeah, look at this. He had a touchdown against the Chiefs and the Broncos, and in the regular season, he also had a touchdown against the Chiefs. So Samuel coming back, I'm down with this. Because Samuel, this touchdown against the Chiefs in the playoffs last year in the AFC Championship game was massive. Like, things were looking spooky, and then he got that touchdown right there. So I'm pleased to see him come back. But now this is the point where we end the video by just talking about the best player in the NFL, right? Like, look at this screenshot right here. You know what happened after this? You know what happened after this. Yeah, you do. You know. Let's take a look at this. Best playoff career TD to interception ratio. This is passing touchdowns as well. This does not even include Josh Allen's running touchdowns, which he has like an 8. I think he has like 8 or 9 or 10 in his playoff career or something like that. So, I mean, look at this. I mean, these are the best players of all time behind him. Mahomes, Brady, right? Rodgers. Where's Manning? Damn, Peyton. Damn, poor Peyton Manning's not even on here. God damn, Peyton. Eli Manning is on here, but Peyton Manning is not on here? God damn, Peyton. You gotta chill, my man. But that's again, like, people, uneducated people who know nothing about football, know nothing about the sport, know nothing about Josh Allen. Like, you'll see all over, they'll say Josh Allen's overrated, he's not that good. And then it's like, we look at his playoff numbers. In the playoffs, against the best teams, this is what Josh Allen does year after year after year after year. This is Josh Allen. He's the first player in NFL history to do this in the playoffs. He is this 1-1-1 in the playoffs. Like this is who he is, okay? Like, last year, like, the game last week against the Jags, it wasn't, Allen had, like, a lucky game. That's why the Bills beat the Jags. No, this is what he does. The only reason Allen and the Bills haven't won multiple Super Bowls, there's only literally one reason. And it's right on this screenshot. Mahomes. That's the only reason the Bills don't have multiple Super Bowls. I think, if not for Mahomes, the Bills would have won the Super Bowl in 2021 and 2023. I've told you guys, last year, I think that Eagles team last year probably would have beaten the Bills. I don't think we would have beaten that Eagles team. But the Rams in 2021, and who was it in 2023? It was the Niners. Dude, the Bills are winning those Super Bowls, man. Those are Super Bowl years stopped by Mahomes. Mahomes is not there to save the NFL this year. It's Allen, so... all right, yeah, we'll end this. I'm pretty confident. It's still the playoffs, and the Broncos are a good team, though, so they could shut me up pretty easily, right? I do respect the Broncos' defense. I think they're very good. That's why I say Allen has to be very conservative in this game. Allen, towards the end of that Jags game, like, James Cook was shut down, Allen had to be great. I don't know. I just don't think the Broncos are as good as the Jags. I think the Broncos are good, but they're not as good as the Jags. And I think Trevor Lawrence, who doesn't impress me, is better than Bo Nix. So it's, the Bills can do this, I think, if they just don't make mistakes. Really, I think this game will come down to maybe whoever makes the first mistake. Does Bo Nix throw a bad pick? Does Josh Allen take a 10-yard sack and fumble? Does the Bills kick returner fumble again? Whoever does that is going to probably lose. That's what it's going to come down to. And then if the Bills make it through this game, next week we'll be pretty nervous as well. So the other AFC game is the Patriots and Texans. The scariest team in the AFC to get to the Super Bowl. Obviously, many NFC teams scare me. The Niners, the Seahawks, the Rams, all are really strong teams. I would be nervous against all of them for sure. The Bears, not really so much, but Caleb has been really impressive at the end of these games. That you can't just discount him, right? So certainly, but I'm just talking about getting to, let's get to the Super Bowl first. Bills haven't been there since, 1994 or whatever. I want to see the Patriots. I'll tell you all that for free. The Texans are a Josh Allen kryptonite team. The Patriots are not. The Texans are. The Bills will beat the Patriots. The Texans, though, that's another game just like the Jags where we'll do a game preview, and I'm just like, man, this is going to be tough, dude. Like, Allen is going to have to play one of the best games of his career to beat the Texans. The Patriots, I mean, this is, we'll see if the Patriots want to shut me up, but I feel like Josh Allen will literally just son the Patriots. He will say, you are my sons. Tom Brady is not here to save you guys anymore. You are my sons. Drake May's good, but you're my son, Drake May. Like, you're not, know your place for now. You haven't been here long enough to be on this level. I think that will happen next week if it's Bills Patriots. But Bills Texans, that'd be tough, dude. That would be. So I hope the Patriots win. Really, I get to win either way because the Patriots. I hate the Patriots. They don't deserve to win ever, for 50 years after the run Tom Brady gave them. So it will be one of my greatest pleasures if the Patriots choke against the Texans. But if the Patriots win, at the same time, I get to say, whew, we don't have to play the Texans, right? So, there we go. Bills and Broncos tomorrow. I'll probably try and get up a post-game video, win or lose. Man, it'll be tough, dude. It'll be tough if we lose because it's just like, how many more years? The Bills have been in the divisional round of the playoffs. This is the 6th year in a row. It would be, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, and now 2025. This is 6 years in a row the Bills have been in the second round of the playoffs. They're the only team that's done this, right? There's no other team that has a streak like this. The only other team, it's 3 years. The Texans have been in the second round 3 years in a row. They're the only other team. So it's just like eventually one of these years, Josh Allen is going to get hurt or we'll have a disaster season. And it's like Josh Allen, I mean, he's been in the league since 2018. And the way he plays, I mean, Josh Allen is probably not going to be playing until 45 like Tom Brady was. So it's like the Bills, they really need to get a Super Bowl while Josh Allen is at this level. They have to. And it's just like, they're never going to get a player as good as Josh Allen. This is their time. All right? If the Broncos could get the greatest player in their franchise history, the next quarterback they get or something like that, the Bills are not going to find a player better than Josh Allen. So it's just these playoffs get very nerve-wracking because it's like, how many more years of this do we have before we choked Allen's whole career away, and then we're never going to get a player as good as him again? And then, so scary times. But I do feel much more confident against the Broncos than I did against the Jags. Because I remember last year I was very confident against the Broncos. I felt like it was a coin flip against the Ravens, and then I was shitting my pants against the Chiefs. I was dreading it so much. Luckily, even the Texans this year, I would not dread the same way I would seeing the Chiefs. So, all right. Let me know what you guys think. Bills, Broncos tomorrow.